Hi there. It's August 18th and time for Proverbs 18. So, well into the Proverbs now, right? See what we have today. Whoever isolates himself seeks his own desire. He breaks out in all against all sound judgment. Most versions say it like this, okay? The 1599 Geneva Bible, which is one of the oldest Bibles in print, says it differently, okay? It says, for the desire thereof, he will separate himself to seek it and occupy himself in all wisdom. Okay? And then notice, he that loveth wisdom will separate himself from all impediments and give himself wholly to seek it. It's a very good thing. Okay? It's a very good thing. Okay? It's good to isolate yourself and to study Bible and to read the Bible and to seek wisdom and pray. Right? Over the rest of them, takes this verse as a bad thing, Whoever isolates himself, seeks his own desire, breaks out against all sound judgment. He's selfish. He doesn't want any friends, and you decide which one is right. And you don't want to separate yourself all the time and become a recluse, okay? But which is what this kind of talks about. But it says here, if you desire wisdom, you will separate yourself and seek it, right? And occupy yourself with all wisdom, reading the Bible, praying, right? So, you say, you decide. 2, a fool takes no pleasure in understanding, but only in expressing his opinion. Boy, isn't that the truth? It's easy to find fools now. They're all carrying signs, right? And if you try and tell them the truth, they're going to scream at you and call you names, okay? They have no truth to counter your truth with, so they're just going to call you names, okay? 3, when wickedness comes, contempt comes also, and with dishonor comes disgrace. Right? Contempt. Meaning such as one contemneth all others. When wicked comes, contempt comes also. Right? With dishonor comes disgrace. Right? They go hand in hand. So it happens if you're prideful and you get knocked off your pedestal, right? Dishonor and disgrace. 4, the words of man's mouth are deep waters. The fountain of wisdom is a bubbling brook. That first part, the words, means people never run out of words to say, okay? These deep waters, you can never draw it dry. They'll always have some words to say, okay? But the fountain of wisdom is a bubbling brook, okay? Again, always there, always flowing. Okay? 5, it's not good to be partial to the wicked or to deprive the righteous of justice, right? We all know that. Does it go on? Absolutely. Right? The good get punished and the bad go free. That's what happens in the world run by the devil. Okay. 6 and 7 go together. A fool's lips walk into a fight, and his mouth invites a beating. A fool's mouth is his ruin, and his lips are a snare to his soul. Right? Some people that just can't shut up, okay, till somebody punches them. Right? Yeah. 8 is important. Gossip, okay? The words of a whisperer or a gossip are like delicious morsels that go down into the inner parts of the body. It is a drug, right? Bowels of the belly. They are soon believed and enter most deeply, right? People hear gossip and they believe it, okay? They believe it. Tell other people, and it's a drug. It's like a drug. It gets down in there and you gotta have more and more and more. That's why the internet is so popular. 90% of it is just gossip and people arguing with each other. Get away from that. 9, whoever is slack in his work is brother to him who destroys, right? If you do nothing, you might as well be destroying things. Okay, 10 is just a good saying, right? The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous man runs into it, and is safe. Right? It's good stuff. 11, a rich man's wealth is his strong city, and like a high wall in his imagination. Right? They think their money will save them. That is usually what causes their downfall. Right? 12, before destruction, a man's heart is haughty, but humility comes before honor. Haughty, prideful, arrogant, conceited. Okay, they all could go there. Before a man is destroyed, knocked off his pedestal, right? Humility comes before honor. Being humble, right? And somebody else lifting you up is what honor is. The most important aspect of all of Proverbs is what God is after is humbleness. Okay. 13, if one gives an answer before he hears, it is his folly and shame. Right? This is part of that arguing chapter from chapter 15. Okay. And it goes in that. Okay. It says in James, okay, the first chapter, you should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Okay. Quick to listen means you listen before you speak. Before you even formulate an answer, you should be listening to their entire comment, everything they have to say until they're finished talking. Then you process it. Then you formulate an answer. Okay? Not before. A lot of arguments are caused because people are cutting each other off. Right? And then they start calling names and then nothing gets solved. Right? If one gives an answer before he hears, it is his foolishness and shame. That's important. Right? 14, a man's spirit will endure sickness, but a crushed spirit who can bear? Right? Crushed spirit who can bear? If the human spirit is crushed, only God can fix that, okay? And God can't fix it. It says in Psalms that he fixes the broken spirit of man. Okay? Many homeless people, they're down and out, sitting on the curb. They have a crushed spirit. Okay? He's just given up on life itself. Right? And it's hard to bear, right? You can be sick and I'm going to get better. I feel terrible. But when your spirit is crushed, okay, it happens during very low points in your life. And that's usually where you find God at, right? Good stuff. 15, an intelligent heart acquires knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks knowledge. You get that from the Bible, right? You get that from the Bible. A man's gift makes room for him and brings him before the great. Right? If you bring a gift for somebody, they usually move you up to the front because everybody likes to get gifts, right? 17, the one who states his case first seems right until the other one comes and examines him. Okay. And we talk about this whenever it comes up every month. In the judicial and the court system in America, the accuser has to go first, okay? And then the defendant gets to go last, okay? In the beginning and in the very end, the defendant gets to go as the last statement, right? Because the accuser will often accuse people of things that are wrong, okay? And people believe the accuser. Oh, this man went over here and he robbed this bank and he stole this money and he killed this person and we're going to prove it, right? And everybody's going, oh, he robbed the person, killed the person, robbed the bank, and they believe that until the other comes and examines him, okay? Cross-examines. Says, okay, I have a video here of my man on the other side of the country in a business meeting. Okay, here's the receipts. Here's the pictures. He wasn't even there, okay? Wasn't even in that town on that day. And suddenly, the one accuser is not right anymore. They say, oh, well, he wasn't there. He didn't do it. The one who states his case first seems right until the other comes and examines him. Right. 18, the lot puts an end to quarrels and decides between powerful contenders. The lot. If a controversy cannot otherwise be decided, it is best to cast lots to know whose the thing shall be. Right. Now, I don't know how they cast lots. I mean, I remember like drawing the short straw kind of a thing, but and saying this is the decision from God because you got the short straw. Casting lots is similar. Okay. We'll have to look into that someday. How they cast a lot. They cast it into the lap, but I don't know how that works. 19, a brother offended is more unyielding than a strong city, and quarreling is like the bars of a citadel. You offend your brother, okay, by gossip, that's one way, okay? They tell you something in confidence, and you go blabbing it around, right? Trying to get him under your friendship again is harder than, right, than a strong city. And trying to argue with him is like, right, it's like the bars of a castle. You're not going to get through to him, okay? Because you offended him. Okay. 20 and 21 go together. From the fruit of a man's mouth, his stomach is satisfied. He is satisfied by the yield of his lips. Got that? From the fruit of a man's mouth, his stomach is satisfied. Say kind things. I can't stress that enough. Say kind things, right? That should be all you say, right? Why? Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. Okay? Death and life are in the power. Words are the most powerful things there are, right? You can crush a man's spirit with words. Okay? And the stuff you say will come back to you. That's what will feed you, okay? Okay, 22. He who finds a wife finds a good thing, okay? And obtains favor from the Lord. You notice it says wife here, okay? It doesn't say he who finds a girlfriend, he who finds a lover, right? He who finds a live-in companion. It doesn't say that, it says wife, okay? And ladies, if you want a good man, a godly man, you need to be a wife, okay? Wives don't care what kind of car the husband drives, as long as it's clean and safe and gets them there, right? Doesn't care how tall or short he is. He cares if he has a heart for God, okay? Be a wife, not a girlfriend, okay? I mean, people that want, I only want a tall person, he has to drive a brand new car, he has to make millions of dollars. They don't want that for themselves. They want that to show off to their friends, to have a facade, to say, look at me, look at me. That's not what a wife is, okay? A wife is somebody who wants to become one with another person, with a man, right? And help each other. So, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord, okay? Not a girlfriend, not a lover, not a sugar daddy, okay? 23, the poor use entreaties, but the rich answer roughly, right? True. This poor speaketh with prayers, but the rich answer roughly. Begging, okay? Begging, praying, and the rich look down on them. That's not a good thing, okay? But it happens. You give somebody money and suddenly they think they're better than everybody else. Right? A true test of your humbleness. Right? And 24. A man of many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Right? This is oftentimes such are found which are more ready to do pleasure than he that is bound by duty. Right? If you want to party, you'll find plenty of people to party with you, right? And that'll cause you ruination, right? But there's always one friend, you know. Most people have one friend that'll stick by them no matter what. Right? Good times and the bad. Those are the kind of friends you want. Okay? So there you go. That's Proverbs 18. I'll go over highlights here. Okay, this one highlighted just because it's different in this one version in the 1599, which is a very old Bible. So, whoever isolates himself seeks his own desire and breaks out against all sound judgment. Okay, they call him a recluse or agoraphobic or evil because he doesn't want to be around other people and isolates himself and locks himself away. Right? Against all sound judgment. But over in the 1599 Geneva Bible, it says, for the desire thereof he will separate himself to seek it and occupy himself in all wisdom. And there's a footnote. He that loveth wisdom will separate himself from all impediments and give himself wholly to seek it. Right? This one on the, this is the English Standard, but all the other versions say basically the same thing. I mean, you know, the NIV, the New American Standard, the King James, New King James, they all say something similar to this. Okay. And I think it's meaning if you isolate yourself all the time, if you become a recluse, never talk to anybody, okay, that's not a wise thing. But sometimes, if you're seeking wisdom, you have to isolate yourself for that. Okay? Two different sayings. You decide which one. Okay. 6 and 7 is highlighted. A fool's lips walk into a fight, and his mouth invites a beating. When people don't know when to shut up, right? A fool's mouth is his ruin, and his lips are a snare to his soul. Right? And the gossip, the words of a whisperer, are like delicious morsels that go down into the inner parts of the body. All right? Gossip is a very dangerous thing because 90% of the time, it's not true. Right? It is slanted. It's like fake news, they call it now, right? Stuff that's spun in such a way as to make one favorable to another, okay, instead of just truth. Gossip, God hates gossip. It separates brothers, it separates friends, it separates churches, okay? Right? We could go on and on about that. Okay, 10, just a good saying. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous man runs into it and is safe. Right? Run to the Lord. Use the Lord's name, okay, when you're in trouble. A rich man's wealth is his strong city, and like a high wall in his imagination. People think having lots of money will save them, but it's usually what is their downfall, okay, because everybody's after it. And this one, 13. This should have been in chapter 15, but if one gives an answer before he hears, it is his folly and shame. Okay? If you cut somebody off and answer them before they finish speaking, it's your foolishness and your shame. Okay? Remember that. Let them finish speaking and then formulate your answer. Don't formulate it while they're speaking. You need to listen. Quick to listen. Okay? Important. And 17, the one who states his case first seems right until the other one comes and examines him. Right? Always get both sides of the story, okay? Always. Don't just take one side and say, well, that's fact. Get both sides, okay? Most stuff on the internet and the news now are just giving you one side of the story. Because you hear the other side and you might find out that the first side is totally wrong and lying and build themselves up just to seem right. 20 and 21. They're yellow, so they're very important, right? From the fruit of a man's mouth, from the things you say, your stomach is satisfied. You will be filled with the things you say, bad or good, okay? You want to be filled with bad, say bad things. You want to be filled with good, say good things, right? He is satisfied by the yield of his lips. Okay? That's important. You should carry this with you all the time. Right? What I say is what will fill me and what I will be filled with. Okay? 21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. All right? Life. If you say good things, that's the fruit you will eat. Right? If you say bad, hurtful, awful things, and some people do it on purpose just to hurt people. Right? I've never understood that, but some people are just evil like that. They will eat that fruit. Okay? And 22, and we talked about it. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. Okay? Men are ultimately looking for wives, for partners, for friends, for the other half of their one that's missing, right? They're not looking for somebody who's in love with their money or how tall they are or how big their muscles are or what kind of car they drive. Okay? Remember that. So, there you go. That is Proverbs 18. Yeah. Stay tuned later today. We are starting the book of Corinthians today. Okay? And that's exciting. Okay? Corinthians is another letter from Paul. And we'll do a little background on Corinthians, who wrote it, when it was wrote, why it was written, the importance of it before we get into it. So Chuck Swindoll always says it. One of my favorite pastors always says he has a very good site. It goes into each book and why it was written and when it was written and how it was written. So, and it's short. We'll do that. So stay tuned for that later on today. Give us a like if you think about it, and we'll continue this tomorrow. See ya.